Hello everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to install and use 86box. So first of all, on this video, in the beginning, I've added timestamps so that way you don't have to listen to me ramble on about things that are not relevant to you. So first of all, I'll go over why you should use 86box over PCem. So take this for example, if you go to 86box's or PCem's website, you can see that they're on version 17. And that's the same version that I was on back in 2021 when I was doing that tutorial on how to use PCem. If you go to their homepage, you can see that the last update in regards to the project that's been posted is that it's been taken over. The development's been taken over by somebody else. And since then, there hasn't been any updates. And also consider that 86box is being regularly updated. So yeah, it's on version 4.1.1, released on March 20th, which is great because that means you're receiving the latest updates, improvements, and ROM support, better ROM support. And another reason why you want to use 86box over PCem is because as PCem is known for worse emulation accuracy. So like, for example, if you take an 86box emulation, a PCem emulation with the same exact specs, you'll find that there are more errors in PCem versus 86box because 86box has the better emulation accuracy. Alright, so anyways, we'll go over how to install 86box. I have a fresh Windows 11 VM, so that way I don't make the mistake like I did with the last video where I didn't use a fresh VM to show you that what I'm doing works. And a lot of people were saying in the comments, well, I did this, as you said, and it's not working for me. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing it, so that way and I'm going to verify that it works. So go ahead and install it by clicking on that link there, scroll all the way down, and then you'll see 86box Windows 64. It's a zip file, right? And then for 86box Manager, pretty much the same thing. Now for the ROMs, instead of clicking on that link there, you go to code and hit download zip. Might take a little bit to download. Alright. So get rid of all this, that way I don't get confused. Alright, so now you're going to want to extract all the files. Yep. Let's see. 86box Manager, ROMs. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to copy all this over to a folder so that way I don't get all mixed up between those zip files. Let's close all these windows here. So first of all, what you want to do is open the ROMs folder, copy everything in there. Then go to the main 86box folder here, create a new folder, and title it ROMs. And then when you're in the ROMs folder, paste everything in there. Alright. Now we're going to want to go to the 86box Manager application. What I like to do is I'd like to copy it and then kind of paste a shortcut. Open it up. And yeah, you might get a Windows Smart Screen message. It's totally safe, so trust me when I say that. I wouldn't be doing a video on this if it wasn't safe. So just click run anyway after clicking more info, I think it said there. So yeah, this message is totally normal. Just click OK. So now what you want to do is go to settings, so that way you can help 86box Manager find the 86box path. So we're going to go look for it. There it is right there. Apply, and OK. Then we're just going to create a VM just to make sure that this works. Configure it. Let's see. A little bit. It's a virtual machine, so it's not too fast. Alright, so we should have all of our ROMs there. If we didn't have our ROMs there, it'll give you a message saying that it could not find the ROMs. So I click OK, see if it starts. That's all I care about. Then I'll go back to my host, and yeah, you can see it started. All right, awesome. So yeah, I'll go back to my host, and we'll create a Windows 95 VM, and I'll show you how to go through. I'll walk you through installing Windows 95. All right, now that we're on my host, now we can create an 86-box machine. So click Add. I'm just going to call it Test. And you can do either one of these options. I'm just going to show you how the program kind of works. So click Configure. Give it a good sec. Okay, so for the machine type, these are going to be settings that I usually recommend. You don't have to do exactly what I do. All right, so the machine type, I'm going to do a socket 7 dual voltage. And for the machine, I'm going to do a shuttle hot 557. For the CPU, I'm going to do a Pentium 90. What I typically do myself is a Pentium 233 or 200. I wouldn't really recommend that for a lower end system. Like for example, I have like a Core i9-12900K, so it's gonna be able to handle a faster CPU like that. I know the CPUs seem kind of slow, but the thing is, it's very hard for a CPU to emulate these older CPUs, despite their age. So just keep it simple. So keep it to a Intel Pentium, and we're doing a speed of 90. You know, just keep it on the safe side. You can go ahead and mess with it, do whatever you want to do. Usually you want to see the emulation speed being like 100%. If it drops to 50, just drop the CPU speed just a little bit until it gets close to 100, or until it gets to 100 or stays close to 100. All right, so on to the display settings. So what we're gonna do is a S3 Trio 64 Phoenix. Let's see where it is. Might have missed it. Oh, there it is. Configure and make sure it's 4 megabytes. Input devices, I'm going to do a standard PS2 mouse. The sound, I'm going to do a Sound Blaster 16. I'm going to choose that because it doesn't need any drivers. Typically I recommend something better like a PCI 128 Sound Blaster driver. I don't think 86box has it listed in here as that, but you can go ahead and mess with it. So keep this video simple. So network, I'm not going to do anything for that. I'm not going to worry about these ports nor these storage controllers. Now for the hard disk, yeah, go ahead and create a hard disk. Alright, for the size, this could be in megabytes, so I want to do 4 gigabytes, so I'm going to type in 4,000. And we're going to keep the image format at a dynamic size VHD. This is helpful because it doesn't take up the 4 gigabytes right away. It just grows as you add more into it. Alright, so click OK. Now for the floppy and CD-ROM drives, you can see that we have a 5 1/4 inch, 2 of them, floppy disk drives. I'm going to switch one of them to a 3 1/2 inch, and then I'm just going to remove the other one, just to, you know, kind of keep it cleaner. Doesn't really matter. So for the CD-ROM drive, do a TAPI if I'm pronouncing that right. For the speed, we're going to do set 8x, which is going to be much slower. We're going to do with a much faster 72x. And then yeah, everything else should be good. I'm not going to mess with these other 2 things. But yeah. Alright, so now we're going to start up the machine and install Windows 95. I'm just going to put in the BIOS for a second so I can pause it. There's a pause button right here, by the way, but I'm just going to stay in the BIOS. So what I'm going to do right now is just set the dimensions. I'm going to lock it to the size. You can resize the window if you want to. Alright, so some of the things I'll show you. So right here, this is the emulation speed. This is what you're going to want to pay attention to when you're messing with the settings. Down here, you got the floppy disk little icon there, as well as a CD-ROM icon, so that way you can insert your images. You got the hard drive icon here. Pay attention to that, see if there's any hard disk activity going on, as well as the sound icon. And then right over here, that's the pause. That's the hard reset. That's the ACPI shutdown, which isn't available as of right now. You have the Control-Alt-Delete button, the Control-Alt-Escape button, and then there's a settings icon. And then you got all these other tabs here. So yeah, I'm going to install the images right now. So yeah, now that we got the images inserted, I'm going to go ahead and restart the system. We'll press save and exit. So now it should boot right into the Windows 95 start disk that I have inserted. All right, so now we gotta create a partition. So we're gonna do fdisk and then hit enter. We're going to put yes for large disk support. And yes. Okay, so we're going to restart by hitting or holding down Control and F12. Oh, by the way, you can remove your mouse from the window by either pressing or holding down both F8 and F12, or you can click the scroll wheel button on your mouse. Alright, so now we're going to format the C drive. Hit enter. Okay, so now that the drive is formatted, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the CD-ROM drive, which is going to be the R drive in this case. See what's in there. So the install folder is in the Windows 95 folder there. So what I'm going to do is copy it over to the main drive. That just creates the Win95 folder on the main drive. So now we're going to copy it over. Now the reason why I do this is because sometimes when you're installing Windows 95, what I've noticed is that it will stop picking up the CD-ROM drive, and by copying it over to the main drive, you'll still be able to find those files if that does happen. Alright, so now that all those files are copied, we're going to go to the Win95 folder in the C drive and then start the setup. Okay, so now we're in Windows 95 setup. Click continue. Click yes. Alright, next, I keep it to the Windows folder on the main drive. It's usually what you do, but you can change it if you want. So click continue. Usually I don't see that. Alright, so you can do whatever you want here, often typical, but what I'd like to do is do custom to make sure all those features that are available are installed. Alright, so now I'm just entering the product key. And yeah, by the way, that key is for Windows OSR 2, so it's not going to work on all versions of Windows 95. I think I have OSR 2.5, so it works for that. So yeah, right now we're going to enter in our name. Company can be left empty if you want. And yes, you want it to search for all hardware devices. We're going to select both of these. And then just let it analyze the computer. Alright, so now I'm just going to make sure all these options are selected. As you can see, some of them are grayed out and some of them have the white background on them. When they're grayed out like that, it means that some of the features are installed. You see only some of them are selected there. So I'm going to hit the space bar twice. They'll be all selected. Ooh. Right, hit next. Next. And you can change these if you want to, but it should be fine as it is. So just hit next. Don't want to stir up this because we already have one anyways. I'm actually going to eject the one I inserted right now just to make sure it doesn't get overwritten by mistake. So yeah, now it's going to install. It's going to take a good while. What you see on video is not representative of what the performance is in reality. It's gonna be much slower. You know, you're emulating an old processor, and these older processors were pretty slow, so give it some patience. Alright, so now that we're done having all those files copied over and installing Windows, just make sure you remove the boot floppy, or else it's going to boot right back into the boot floppy instead of the C drive, where we'll be continuing on and finishing up Windows. Alright, so now we have to set a username and password. Right, now we just set the time zone. And click apply, then OK. I'm just gonna click cancel on Windows messaging and setting up a printer, because I don't really care. Don't need to worry about that. Make sure I boot. Alright, now time to log in. Right, now we're on the desktop. This is a Windows 95 setup screen that will just basically install their features. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Properties, settings. Should be able to set the desktop resolution. We got 32-bit color. Apply. I'm not going to specify a monitor. Apply without restarting. So yeah, as you can see, we got video display working, as well as the audio just fine without any drivers. There's always better devices to use out there for audio and video, but you might need drivers for those. They're available online. They're a little bit more difficult to find, but you can definitely find them if you search. Anyways, if you need any help with anything, have any questions, let me know in the comments, or you can reach out to me at my email, which you can find in the description of my About channel, as well as my Twitter or Discord. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.